we've enjoyed unprecedented growth over the last 12 months. With that success comes challenges, and particularly the challenge of mapping your supply chain and sales resources onto the opportunities that are coming up. And really, we need quality people in the right places, and Louisa and the team help with that. I think the most common and pressing issue was on time. Time to get the job done, and also time to undertake a recruitment process. We had limited diary availability, and whatever we did do, we needed to do once and do properly. Everybody is flat out when you're doing really well, and although the feeling is good, you can't sustain that kind of pressure. So we knew we needed to get people in, but finding the time to do that job properly was tricky. And again, Louisa and the team helped out with that enormously. Our business particularly is sales process led, and by far the most critical part of that process is the salesperson and the sales team and the sort of relationships that they can build. UK is a core part of our global growth plan, so this hire was very important to the business. A successful placement. We engaged Louisa and the team, and they had a very thorough, methodical process. We were able to identify, interview, and agree terms with a successful candidate, and they're just about to come on board with us in a couple of weeks' time. I think recruiters are essentially providing a service, and they're a business like any other. So the key question you have to ask yourself is, can I do this in-house? Do I allow an external business to come in and add their margin? And I think the difference between the decision being correct and the decision being the wrong one is entirely down to whether the recruiter delivers poorly or not. Some recruiters can be a bit mechanistic, generating lists and candidates without much thought, charging hefty fees at the end of it for the privilege, and I'm happy to say that wasn't the case with Louisa's team. Well, in order to get value and to make it work, the team would have needed to be up to speed very, very quickly on the role requirement. They would need to understand the profile of the candidate pretty quickly as an ideal, and they would need to understand the culture and direction of the business to ensure that there's a fit as well. And I think even more importantly for me in this instance, Louisa and the team need to be exceptionally patient with me in terms of my diary constraints, and all those expectations were met. Louisa showed a methodology and a system that you'd normally associate with a larger recruitment organization, and that was coupled with a much more flexible, patient and personal approach, and that blend of service meant the process was a success. Louisa had access to databases and selection software that obviously aided the process, and I found that was a technique that got us to where we needed to go quicker, and to be able to then use her experience to process that is obviously the key. I felt that took a couple of steps out of the process and allowed us to get there quicker than we anticipated in the end. As with many things in life, quantity doesn't equal quality. Recruiting the wrong person can be expensive, and it's a lot more expensive than doing it right in the first place. The situation, particularly in the UK, is exceptional. I think the best recruits are still as difficult to come across as they would be. People are keeping hold of them. Good businesses will make every effort to keep their staff, their good staff, in order to be able to respond to the recovery that's in sight this year. So in short, good people are still hard to find. No, I recommend it. Like I said, persistence and patience was needed, particularly with me and my diary and that of my team. And persistence and patience is what we got, and a very high quality service.